What's going on, guys? So we're in the garage, obviously doing the favorite thing of everybody. I mean, I get to do body work and you guys get to watch me do body work. Does it get any more interesting than that? So anyways, pretty simple. I got some good filler. I got a bunch of new squeegees, spreaders, whatever you want to call them. I got my mixing board. This thing's just a bunch of it's almost like a big notepad. You can just rip them all off, so that's pretty sweet. We got some 40, 80, I think 180. I don't know what else I got here. I'm gonna have to go through my little stash here. Been a while since I've done body work from past the primer stage, so I probably don't have all the sandpaper, so I'll have to make a little list tonight and get some tomorrow after work. But we're still a ways away from the final stuff. I think where I want to start is the roof. I think I'm gonna skim coat this whole front section just because it had that kind of stuff that turns into a paintable primer, that the rust converter. Back here it had paint on it, so I'm not overly worried about it. I mean, I put it down to bare metal, it's probably fine. I'll scuff it up and make it nice, and it'll get a nice coat of primer on it. I also got to get in these ridges and whatnot, but I think I'll start by going on here because that's gonna be a big panel, it's gonna be a pain, and realistically I'm probably gonna have to do most of it by hand to make it look nice. I don't have the skills with a big air board or anything like that to make it good, so it's slow moving. That's one of the reasons I hate body work. So then we're gonna start on the roof, and I'd like to get the fenders going. Again, the fenders look okay, but there is obviously this seam has to be dealt with. Then all down this side is gonna take a little bit of screwing around and time. The wheel lip opening and all that looks pretty good. I don't want to mess with that too much. And then up here, again, it's almost down to bare metal, so it shouldn't be too bad. But this panel here, you can't really use a whole lot of big, long, straight boards. I mean, obviously you can and kind of work your way around. There's a lot of kind of complex little compound curves. So I want to start on that, start getting that roughed out. We'll get on the roof. The doors are going to be easy. My plan is to smear them with filler, turn my brain off, and run the long block across them until they're flat. That's all there is to there. The rockers need a little bit front and at the back where they're joined. The quarters will need minimal work. I mean, I guess we'll just kind of see. I'd much rather just talk to you guys about the body work I'm going to do than actually do it. But we'll get set up, start laying down some filler. I think we'll start on the fenders today. Seems like fun. All right, well, we got this old girl loaded up with some filler. Now, I like to kind of work on it still, I mean, soft or whatever, it's hard. So these are the tools we're gonna use a bunch right now. Now, this thing here is I don't know what this is, how long it is, but it's a decent size, 18-inch Durablock or something like that. So the idea is, it keeps it nice and flat. So that'll be good for kind of giving it its shape. We can work our way around the contour, because we're metal there and we're metal there. That'll give us our kind of shape, and then this will just flatten everything in between it. So this we got the valley of two pieces of filler on top. We're trying to get that. Now this one right here, I don't have this. I have 40 grit to really hammer this down. This will be a few coats. This little round one here, I think I got 80 on it. We're going to use this to try and shape the molding line, because again, it's like two peaks, so we got to get in this area, and this will just make it the same. So I mean, you can use a piece of dowel, wood, whatever it may be. These are just, that's why the blocks are shaped this way, obviously, right? Just to kind of give it like that. Give it a few long strokes, and it'll start carving out that body line. Now, you can be aggressive on this and you can cause it to dip in, which we don't want. It has to go down straight and then into it. So we'll probably start with this first and get it close to where I want it. So we're going after it. So after just a few minutes of sanding, you see what we're left with. This is obviously a low spot. Still a little high right here. We're going to leave that. So this needs another layer. So there's that. We actually managed to get the... That's even going to show up on camera, but we got the line kind of... It's not bad. It needs a little bit more love. As always, just need lots and lots of hours put in it. But that's essentially the game plan. Big strokes over, a large area. Flatten out as best we can. It already looks more like a fender, right? The level here, I want to go in and check this footage and make sure that the lighting and stuff is still okay, because I've been doing every time I'm just making these changes. And the last thing I want to do is put like 4 hours of work into sanding, and there's no footage out of it that's usable. So I'm gonna take a quick break, do that, and then probably back out later, if not tomorrow. So let's see how it turns out. Hopefully it's good. All right, now, so I think I got the lighting figured out with the camera and stuff. I actually put on a proper microphone, like one I wear. I bought it like a year ago at Murr's recommendation. Lost it for a bit, then I found it, and I lost it again. Anyway, so now I should be able to walk wherever I want here. The sound's still good. So if you look around, I tried putting up some sound deadening. Oh, it'll show up there. I tried putting some on the back door. It was a little too cold for the glue to stick. I'm thinking a couple of lines of that stuff across will make my life a lot better. And then I've put some, is it showing up? Oh yeah, up on the corners and stuff. Feels a little less echoey in here. Still not perfect. I gotta hang some from the roof, but I'm hoping this expense will make it better. Anyway, that's kind of irrelevant. Hopefully we got the lighting and sound dialed. That's really all that matters. Let's get back to hot rods. Man, hot rods. So we sanded this one fender down, and then that's where I left it. Now I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna hammer on the top of the roof for a little bit with the random orbital, because it's so flat. I should just be able to knock down the kind of high spots, and then I'll go back on it with the long board in some, oh, I don't know, 80 or 120, or see how we get down, maybe even 180 to be honest with you. We'll bang out the other fender, and we'll load it up with a little bit more filler, because it'll be the same as I'm sure it'll be the same. We'll get those filled in. This will be a few layers. The fender's gonna be, I think, the biggest issue. So we get that and that done. Then maybe we'll start on the doors, load all that up, and keep jamming. Let's get going. Okay, so we're well into first coat being sanded off. Okay, well, pretty good. The roof looks really nice. It's really flat, and there's hardly any issues there. Right at the edges here, they have a bit of you can barely feel it, but it's a bit up and down. But they kind of all do that. I guess it's just kind of the way the ribs are. All back here, it was pretty much paint, and I put that rust converter, so I'm just gonna sand this. It's nice and flat. There's no way I'm gonna make it better than it was. So I will go in here and get all this cleaned out, which would be no big deal. And I got to put some mud on both sides Well, this one I think was just here, maybe a little bit of a divot there, but nothing too crazy. Up here's looking good. I got to get all in here by hand. The big sander doesn't fit so hot in there, so we'll do that. Got to run out. I'm going to get some fiberglass to put in that area, and then where the joins are for the quarter into the rocker. The front now we have it, like I said, both are kind of the same. This one has a bit of a divot there and a bit there. This one actually came out a fair bit better. You just start to see where it's starting to dip down. What I'll probably do is I'll just expand the filler now a little bit wider. I'll float it out on both sides. Pretty simple. Another layer down here. I mean, overall, we're getting the desired effect. So I think it's working out pretty good. So I'm gonna load up the fenders with filler. I think I'm gonna start putting filler on this door because it actually didn't have anything too crazy. So we'll just kind of give it a skim coat top to bottom, and then we'll just flatten it right out. I'm thinking it's probably the way to go. Well, then once that's kind of setting up, we'll go out, we'll grab some fiberglass. We'll come back, fiberglass a few areas, and a little bit more sanding. But we should have the fenders roughed out, the roof roughed out. I'll just be starting on the doors by the time the night's over, and that's where we're gonna end the video. That's how I'm gonna run these sanding videos. I think we'll just do 2 days at a time or something like that. Wherever we end, bam, another video. And then, yeah, I mean, it's hurry up and wait. That's what's gonna happen. I would like to get it in primer in the next week or two maybe, and then at least there'll be all somewhat sealed. I realize it won't be like an epoxy or whatever it's called primer. It'll be a high build, but it's not going outside a whole lot, but it'll just give it a real good idea what things gonna look like. And I'm hoping that'll motivate me, because believe it or not, I'm not motivated doing this junk. So let's put on some filler. Sorry about that. Got a rude conversation or a rude phone call from Mert right in the middle of working, right? Freaking guy just wants to see how I'm doing. But more filler on. We got the door jammed. So this is like fiberglass with like the kitty hair in it. So put it there at the bottom on the rocker. And then we did the same on the other side. Pretty simple. We're not really gonna worry about this side too much. I'm gonna start sanding again. Now, what I'm gonna do is probably just use 80 grip. Flap disc to get the fiberglass off, because I mean, really, we're just trying to get this little section right there. This stuff's real stringy when it goes on. And then we'll just filler it, it'll be fine. And then big DA on the door. Again, the door should go pretty easy. I think we'll have to redo just the edge, the leading edge, because it's a little kind of warped, but it'll end up kind of looking like the roof where there's just a few little low spots and whatnot. We're doing pretty good. Then I'll come back on the next round of filler, and we got to do in this area and just one little low spot right there. And I'll probably put another little skim coat, maybe right in this area. We'll probably do most of this by hand, just because it's really tough to get the sander in there without it biting on stuff. And then the never-ending fenders. I feel like this isn't going to be finished today, just because, well, it'll probably be roughed out today, but it'll need a few more coats, and ultimately, I think putting it in primer so you can see how all the compound angles go together is going to be really important on this. The door being flat, the roof being flat, and all that's kind of irrelevant. I'll also come and start sanding out some of these V's and stuff. I'd actually like to get the roof in some high-build primer right away in the next few days if I can, just to kind of see what it looks like. I'm not telling you guys the color yet, because I'm not 100% sure, but the top will be white. It's going to be two-tone. So I might as well put it in high-build white primer, and I can visualize for myself, a little Photoshopping or something. But that's what we're going to do. So back to the stand you go. I think the camera actually got a little too hot because the battery's not dead and it shut off. I was using, this is a GoPro 10, and I went back to the 9s because the 10 kept screwing up, and I think that's probably what the problem was, but I was going to return it and it went past the date of I can do it, so we're going to suffer. Anyway, so we got another little skim coat on the door. At this point now, I should be able to kind of bring it down even further, so more metal will show. We got the B-pillar all dialed together. Up here, we got this nice, it's still a little soft. So my plan is, I'll probably show you on the other side actually, because that side's gonna be a little rougher. So I just schmoed the filler on. Oh, I just did that. Anyways, so I schmoed the filler on. Now what I'm gonna do is I'll block it side to side and, you know, kind of at crisscross patterns. So it'll be nice and flat, the roof will be flat. And then once it's done, then I'll put this little V in and go from there. That was embarrassing. As for the fender, I haven't worked on this one, but this one we've got, I'm going to say like 75%. So it's really roughed out. I got a little here I got to take off yet. But I'm happy with the shape. It's pretty good. A couple little high spots. We started just barely coming through again, so put another coat there. And then right at the front needed a little bit more. But we're really getting there. The fenders are definitely going to be, I think, in a few videos, because I'm going to get it all together. I'll do it a few more times. Once we get in primer, they'll need the most work just because there's so many curves to it. Just the way it's going to go, I struggle with that stuff. So I think what I'll do now is I'll plug the camera in and get it charged up for a bit, but I'll bang out the door so it'll be, yeah, this is good. I'll get it kind of mostly flattened out. We already just watched that. It'll be pretty good. And then maybe flatten this out, and we'll bring the camera back what we're going to do here, because I'd like to get the roof kind of sanded and ready to go, because again, I want to get some paint on the roof ASAP. So I think that's where we'll end it. So when we get that kind of finished, the door will be done, and the fenders will maybe be roughed out. I'll probably get that one going as well, just so it'll kind of look like a car. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's a full 24 hours later. So we're back on the hot rod as per usual. I finished the door off kind of a little bit. Hopefully it shows up in frame there. We got the B-pillar kind of going. I put a second coat on. I think what I'm going to do here, I did pick up some supplies from the body shop this morning, some high build primer and stuff. Like I said, I really want to get the roof done. Unfortunately, they didn't have white. They only had gray, but what are you going to do? So I think what we'll do, we'll finish off this video by doing just a little bit of the body work up top here and kind of getting the ribs taken care of and maybe a little bit of body work on the sides. I don't know if I'll do, well, I'll probably do here up, I guess. That'll be on the next video. But I'll just kind of start here, go for a little bit. We'll take a break. I got a buddy coming by in a little bit who is a professional body man. So I'm going to try and weasel him into working for next to nothing. And I'll do the best I can in the car and then have him kind of finish it up. So I'm by far no awesome body man. I think my problem is my skills, not to sound too full of myself, my skills outweigh my interest. I believe you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it and you're enjoying it. I detest body work, doesn't matter how it goes. It's too slow for me. So the plan will be do the best I can and have him come over for a weekend and straighten it out. if he'll come over. I gotta make sure that happens. Anyway, let's get this camera going. Hopefully I can move this with a bunch of noise now that I have this fancy mic of Merce. Look, you guys, top floor, penthouse, there we go. So the two tools I'm gonna use now at this point, I've already put filler on once and taken it down. This is just my 10 3/4 inch block with 80 grit on it. So we're gonna kind of go side to side, but also with the crown at the same time. And you can kind of see how the filler is going to come off evenly. There's just a little dent right in there, or a little low spot. So we'll go over that. We'll do that in fast motion. So that's the plan there. And then this, we'll be using the top part of the teardrop, whatever you want to call it, because it actually fits really nicely in there. So I'll be able to kind of just do this. Again, this is 80. Get some of the junk out. But you can see how it really takes it all down in a hurry. It did really, really good. So I think we'll start that, and then we'll get it kind of blocked out, roughed out. Maybe I'll hit the top. Because we're going to go over the top. I might actually just use the longboard, to be honest with you, because it came out so nice. And then we'll start talking paints and all that in the next video. So let's get this taken care of, this and this. And yeah, I don't know, keep going. Quicker than I thought, I'm not gonna lie. So we're really getting there. This little thing made quick work of all the grooves. You kind of see how it turned out pretty good. We got just right in the very depth of it. Needs a little bit, but I'm thinking we can just kind of round out a paint stick. And that'll get right down in there. But again, I was doing that with 80. I think I'll probably switch over to some 150 or 180 or something like that. And we gotta do the top and everything there, obviously, before we do the primer. Everything, like, it came out pretty nice. We got to focus on down here and stuff like that, a little bit of screwing around, but that will be in the next video. I'm going to start it right away, but I feel like we have enough going on in this one. Time to break it up. I've had enough sanding, so maybe I'll feel re-energized by stopping and starting a new video. Anyway, that's where we're leaving it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. I'm open to any auto body tips, if you have any. Leave them in the comment section, because I'm winging it. I know the basics. If there's something I can do to make it go faster, I'm in. Let me know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you, well, a few minutes for me, but a few days for you. See you later.